Stephanie White claims Caitlin Clark is being used as pawn amid WNBA dispute. Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White has responded to Caitlin Clark's name being dragged into the current WNBA feud between Napheesa Collier and Kathy Engelbert. Caitlin Clark's name is once again in the headlines, and Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White has her star players back. Clark was thrust into the latest dispute last week when WNBA Players Association VP and Minnesota Lynx star Napheesa Collier's meeting with League Commissioner Kathy Engelbert regarding an expiring labor deal went sideways. Speaking to Query and Company on 107.5 The Fan on Friday, White came to the defense of her star point guard. "I hate it all for Caitlin," White said. "You know, she's a 23-year-old kid who loves to play this game, who is a pawn in a lot of other people's games and a lot of other people's narratives. And I hate that for her." Read more. Erin Andrews issued public apology to Baker Mayfield after Fox interview. Read more. Travis Kelce had valid reason to deny young Chiefs fans' autograph request. "She is so mature for her age. I mean, think back to when we were 23 years old. Holy cow. But she's so mature. She has people in her corner and people that can help her. She gets it. She understands the big picture." Clark, who maintains an outstanding reputation on and off the court, was thrown into the fray when Collier revealed Engelbert allegedly said in a private meeting in February that Clark and others should be on their knees for the platform the WNBA has given them. Clark, who blossomed into the sport's biggest star thanks to her brilliant play at the University of Iowa, now boasts endorsement deals with Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, among others, and a portfolio worth $16 million off the court, according to Collier. Clark's salary for the 2025 WNBA season was $76,535, standard for top draft picks over the first 4 years of their career. Of course, the second-year phenom is worth much more than what her pay stub reads, an area in which Collier and many others are hoping to spearhead change. When asked about Collier's statement exposing Engelbert's claim, Clark replied, "No comment." Read more. Jackie Young creates WNBA history as Aya Wilson causes Mercury injury scare. Read more. Angel Reese makes 6 figures plus from deal in fresh dig at WNBA pay. White heaped more praise on Clark, the 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year, comparing her to fellow transcendent athletes Tiger Woods and Serena Williams. "You can probably name just maybe a handful more of athletes who have been the game changers and who have experienced what Caitlin Clark is experiencing," White said. "Besides them, no one can really relate to what she's going through. I think the biggest thing is we can be there for her," White continued. "We can offer perspective and do what we can to help deflect and navigate. But at the same time, it's a life that she has to lead. And I think she does it admirably, with so much grace and humility." The dispute comes at a point of juncture for the WNBA and its future, with a new collective bargaining agreement, including player salaries, set to be negotiated this offseason. In a league defined by fierce competition and growing cultural relevance, the latest controversy surrounding Caitlin Clark has taken the WNBA far beyond the basketball court. Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White, known for her candor and deep understanding of league politics, has sparked debate with her bold statement, "Caitlin Clark is being used as a pawn." It's a claim that has sent shockwaves through the basketball world, igniting conversations about league leadership, media narratives, and the future of women's basketball. But behind the headlines, there's a deeper story unfolding, a complex web of ambition, influence, and the struggle for control over the game's brightest new star. The rise that changed everything. When Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA, she wasn't just another rookie. She was a phenomenon. Her college career had already shattered records, drawn record-breaking TV audiences, and turned arenas into sold-out spectacles. The WNBA, long yearning for mainstream attention, suddenly found its golden ticket. Clark's arrival was a movement. Her name trended daily. Merch sales soared. Ratings for Fever games skyrocketed. Even casual sports fans, who once couldn't name a WNBA player, now followed every shot she took. But as with all meteoric rises, there came a storm of opinions, politics, and agendas. The pawn in the power game. Stephanie White's remarks didn't come from nowhere. As tensions between league veterans, management, and new stars intensify, Clark has inadvertently become the symbol of something much bigger. She's caught in the middle, White reportedly said during a recent media session. There are people trying to use her to push agendas on both sides. Those sides? On one end, league executives and sponsors eager to capitalize on Clark's marketability. On the other, players and advocates fighting for respect, equality, and recognition long before the Clark effect arrived. For some, Clark's instant fame feels like a lifeline for the league's visibility. For others, it's a reminder that years of struggle are being overshadowed by a single superstar, one whose image is carefully shaped by forces beyond her control. The leagues divide. The WNBA has always carried the weight of more than just sport. It's a platform for gender equity, social justice, and representation. But this also means its stars are constantly thrust into the spotlight not only for their play but also for what they represent. Veteran players, many of whom paved the way for Clark's generation, have voiced frustration over disparities in media attention and financial backing. When Clark receives disproportionate coverage or endorsement deals, it stirs resentment, not necessarily at her, but at a system that failed to provide similar opportunities before her arrival. White's pawn comment cuts straight into this emotional divide. It's a warning that Clark's rise might not be entirely organic, that she's being steered, marketed, and framed to serve the league's image rather than her own journey. She's a phenomenal player, White emphasized. But she deserves to be more than a headline. She deserves to be understood as an athlete, not just a marketing tool. The media machine and the manufactured narrative. Every era of sports has its chosen face, the athlete molded into the perfect story. Caitlin Clark fits that role flawlessly, humble yet competitive, young yet commanding, approachable yet elite. But Stephanie White's comments shed light on how media narratives can shape, distort, or even exploit talent. The headlines are rarely subtle. Every win or loss, every confrontation or comment becomes a trending topic. Was she snubbed by teammates? Is she being targeted by veterans? Did the league protect her or set her up? Behind these narratives, corporate interests loom large. Endorsement deals, TV contracts, and league branding all benefit from keeping Clark in the spotlight. Yet that same attention comes with immense pressure. Pressure that White argues should never fall on a 22-year-old rookie still learning the professional game. The star trying to stay grounded. For her part, Caitlin Clark has stayed remarkably poised. She has rarely fed into controversy, choosing instead to let her game speak for her. But those close to her note that the noise surrounding her has become impossible to ignore. Every practice, every interview, every on-court interaction is analyzed under a microscope.